Renovating a 5-inch gauge Sweet Pea steam locomotive, part 23. After fitting the 2 drain pipes from the safety valve extension tubes, I turned my attention to a really top-class tip. It is a simple modification to the injector water piping, and it makes a big difference for a couple of obvious reasons. Modifying the injector water piping is a very simple job, and while on the subject of simple jobs, this piping job was also simple. The 2 pipes from the safety valve tubes drain the safety valves so that you don't get a shower bath when the safety valves blow off. And it's much better than just letting the water run down the side of the tubes onto the footplate and cause it to rust slightly, like it has actually done previously on this engine. And now it's time for 2 top tips in one. You've guessed it, it's top tip time. So what's it about? Many years ago I built a 7 1/4 inch gauge titch locomotive that I used to run round my garden at the other house, and it had 2 injectors. One of them never worked, and it was only just before I sold it when I found out what the problem was. It was my bad silver soldering on one of the pipes, and I fixed it. But up till then I just used the red injector. And this was fed from an external tank, the tender, which was the driving truck and contained a large water tank and was pulled along behind the engine. The problem was, when the side tanks got warm, the water inside the side tanks also got warm, and the injector became unreliable, because live steam injectors do not function very well with hot water. This engine lived in an armour-plated engine shed around the back of the house, and this shed wasn't heated, so freezing would have been a problem had the water have been left in the tanks. This is how I used to drain the tanks after a run. Back now to the Sweet Pea locomotive, and you can see the modification immediately. On this one though, I've put 2 taps in the circuit, one from the tank, and when that's shut, obviously the water stays in the tank, and if I open the other valve and connect a pipe to a water tank towed behind the engine, the injector will take its feed from there. And if I open both of the valves, I can drain the tank as shown here. That reminds me, I think I need to go to the toilet. Oh, the joys of prostate gland radiotherapy. But at least the cancer appears to have gone. I'd better get back to the video subject. As one viewer once put it, I didn't subscribe to this channel to watch things about prostate glands. This is a very simple modification that you could really do to any kind of tank engine. It's just a T-piece fitted in line with the injector water valve, and the pipe from the centre of the T-piece goes to another valve, which has an elbow on it. You don't need a fancy fitting. The silicone rubber pipe just presses onto the elbow, and you turn it half a turn, it engages the thread, and it doesn't fall off. You can of course make a special nozzle, but I often find it's difficult to remove the silicone rubber tubing from a long extension pipe. On the bench in this clip you can see a piece of brass. I'm going to use this to make a support for the valve because it's wobbling about. I should really have done this job in the main workshop where I have bigger and better equipment. Well, bigger equipment. I decided to use this Proxon machine vise and the small Bosch drill that I have, because it's not strong enough to flip over this vise and I can control it. I need to drill 2 holes in this bracket, and I had to go through a few drill sizes to get the hole up to 5/16 of an inch in diameter. Once I drilled the 5/16 of an inch diameter hole, I turned the part around in the vise to drill another small hole to mount it to the engine. Here's the kit of parts, I just need to put it together. This is a double union. I'm applying some Loctite 542 sealant to it, and then I bolt the double union through the bracket into the valve. Now it's time to drill a small hole in the chassis, only 1/8 of an inch in diameter. Here I'm marking out the position, and here I'm drilling the hole. A very simple and quick job. The hole is 1/8 of an inch in diameter, which is tapping size for 4BA, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm threading the hole 4BA. I don't really need to do this. I could drill it clearance size for 4BA, but I think it will be easier because at the other side the bolt will resemble a stud, and there will be one less bolt to fiddle with when I assemble the parts. This clip shows the tightening of the bolt into the frames. All I need to do now, with the help of this spanner, is tighten a nut on the bolt to hold the assembly in place. Here I'm completing the job by tightening the union nut using a small spanner. I decided to do it this way with the angle of the brass on the inside of the frame. It makes it much more rigid. There is still a small amount of movement, but this is perfectly all right. In case of an accidental derailment or during moving of the locomotive, I just thought it was a good idea to build in a little bit of play. In any case, if the brass support does get bent, it can be easily bent back into position. So there you have it, an alternative cold water supply for a live steam injector, and the benefits of running the locomotive with a full tank all the time. Applying the logic, more weight, more attractive effort. The tank, of course, still supplies the hand pump just in case. That's it for this episode. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.